But we begin tonight with a heartbreaking story in the valley, a toddler drowning in a pool. Good evening, I'm Nina Pershunkula. 13 Action News reporter Aaron Drawhorn is near Lake Mead and Jones with what we know and a message from police to everyone tonight.
Tragedy struck this neighborhood near Michael Way in Lake Mead around 2:30 this afternoon. Metro got a call about a toddler who fell into a backyard swimming pool. Medics racing to the rescue, but sadly they would not be able to save that young child in the 1900 block of Smith. They immediately started CPR. That would not work. They transported the child to an area hospital, but this outcome would have a deadly ending. Just yesterday, a 1-year-old fell into a backyard pool and almost drowned. That child ended up surviving. Metro Police putting out this statement: as pool season approaches, it's important to remind all parents and caretakers of small children of the importance of utilizing proper safety and an abundance of caution when it comes to small children in the area of pools and hot tubs. The latest casualty coming here this afternoon. Aaron Drawhorn, 13 Action News, elevating Las Vegas.
Yeah, such a sad story. And the other big story tonight, President Donald Trump back in D.C. after spending a day in Las Vegas speaking at the Republican Jewish Coalition. The president had a harsh new message to those trying to come here from the South, and 13 investigative reporter Joe Bartels was there during the president's remarks at the Venetian.
Vice President Mike Pence and President Donald Trump wrapping up their speeches here at the Venetian and really setting the stage for a battle in 2020.
It was a double-barrel political punch in Nevada. President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence speaking at the Republican Jewish Coalition at the Venetian.
Confidence is back. Jobs are back. In a word, America is back. And we're just getting started.
Both of America's highest elected leaders say a lot is at stake in next year's election. And President Trump says stopping illegal immigration, one of his signature issues, continues to be a main focus.
And I don't mind closing the border. I tell you, a lot of these fakers back there, they say, he will never close the border. It's too much. Well, close the border, we stop about $500 billion worth of drugs from pouring into our country.
The president underscored his support for the Jewish community, which he says included moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem and withdrawing from the Iran nuclear deal. He says at home his economic policies are putting people to work.
America is thriving, America is booming, and America is winning like never before.
Some supporters say both the president and the vice president hit on key issues they wanted to hear about.
I thought it was an excellent speech. He looked very relaxed.
I don't think anyone else has had the courage to stand up for Jews, against racism, the way Trump has.
But there's no hiding the fact that this was a campaign-style stop and votes are critical.
With your help on November 3rd, 2020, can you believe it's right around the corner?
President Trump now back in Washington, D.C. after a whirlwind 12-hour stay in the Silver State. Joe Bartels, 13 Action News, elevating Las Vegas.
Jews are here to say occupation is a plan!
And just as President Trump began his remarks, protesters interrupted. Our cameras were rolling when protesters from the organization If Not Now were chanting, and they told us they disagree with President Trump's support for Israel's policies.
We don't have to participate in armed violence to reach peace.
We're challenging Trump and his rhetoric and policies that have fostered oppression.
The If Not Now organization also protested in light of the Jewish holiday Passover. And business magnate and CEO of Las Vegas Sands was also present during this speech. Sheldon Adelson sat in the front row. He is in a wheelchair right there in that video, and you know that he is battling cancer. He was there with his wife, Miriam. Adelson is one of the biggest GOP donors and supporter of the president, and another big supporter, Steve Wynn, who we were told greeted Trump at the airport. Nevada's Democratic Party is responding to President Trump's visit. It released a statement that reads in part, President Trump is focusing his efforts on enacting policies that would harm our state, including ending protections for patients with pre-existing conditions, ripping health care away from hundreds of thousands of Nevadans, secretly shipping plutonium into our state, and making Nevada the nation's nuclear waste dumping ground. And of course, we stream the president and vice president speeches live on our Facebook page. So if you would like to watch it, go to our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/KTNV Las Vegas. And Darren, I guess everybody here knows that it has been a great day. It's been a nice weather out there. I'm wondering if tomorrow this is going to be a repeat, though. Please tell me it is.
Oh boy, it's going to be even warmer tomorrow. So far in the month of April, every day has been warmer than normal. The normal high is 75 degrees. Take a look at the high today. We topped out at 78 degrees, so that's 3 degrees above the normal. You can see the record of 95 set back in 1989. So Nina just mentioned, is it going to be warmer tomorrow? It is, because high pressure is building in. Tomorrow forecasting a high of 85 degrees. Now it's nice and warm outside right now. Lots of upper 60s, a couple lower 60s. Boulder City, you're at 61 degrees. We'll take you outside the valley. Look at Laughlin, still at 72. Anthem, you're at 60. 64 for Henderson, and all the way up towards the north there, North Las Vegas, your current temperature is 66 degrees. Now, here's the key. There's no wind in the forecast tonight. There's no wind tomorrow, but it will return in a big way in the 7-day forecast. And we're probably getting ready for the first 90-degree temperature of the year. All that coming up when I do my full weather in another 10 minutes. I'll see you then. Nina, back to you for right now.
All right, thank you, Darren. And new crazy video out of New York City tonight. So you may have seen this on social media. It shows a fan jumping on stage and tackling wrestler Bret Hart. Now, Hart was on stage accepting induction into the WWE Hall of Fame. That's when the fan right there in that video jumped a barrier and tackled him. Now, the WWE Network feed of the ceremony went to black for a few moments while security took that fan in custody. Hart was able to eventually finish his speech. A crime alert now. Metro is looking for whoever shot a woman in this busy shopping center parking lot. Now, this is on Spring Mountain near Jones, and police say the shooting happened just before 4 today. They say a man approached the victim and ultimately shot her.
By the time we got here, there was already Metro here and EMS arriving.
What did you see?
We saw police suddenly rushing to one female who was sitting on the ground over there.
And we're told the woman was shot in the leg, but she's expected to be okay. And tonight, 2 local kids celebrating a big win. So they were a part of a competition involving robots at Southern Hills Hospital. So we told you earlier this week that the hospital got 2 robots to perform surgeries. The hospital asked Valley kids to draw what they think our robots look like and give them a name. And since there are 2 robots, of course, there are 2 winners. So first one is Stephen Lemus from Pat Diskin Elementary and John Vallejos from Hayes Elementary. So each winner got $500 for their school and $100 for themselves.
I'm going to spend my money on a piano tune because my sister won $100 to buy a piano, so I'm going to use it to tune the piano.
And congratulations to those 2 kids. About 300 people came out to today's event. They got to test out the robots for themselves, and there was face painting, a balloon artist, and more fun activities for all the children out there. And it is all about chaos at the Palms this weekend. After almost $700 million worth of upgrades, the hotel and casino had a star-studded grand opening. So last night we spotted legendary supermodel Cindy Crawford and one half of groundbreaking hip-hop group Salt and Pepper.
I just moved here. Actually, I'm a local now, and I'm happy to be in Vegas.
Cardi B also opens her residency at Chaos tonight. And looking ahead, it's almost time to play ball here in Las Vegas. So the Las Vegas Aviators home game and opening of the new ballpark is this coming Tuesday. The team is starting out the season 2-0, beating the El Paso Chihuahuas last night. So check out this video they shared on Twitter of the ballpark lighting up there. The Aviators will be taking on the Sacramento River Cats on Tuesday. And of course, if you need a ride to the game, the Las Vegas Aviators are partnering with Lyft. If you use the promo code LVAviators, you can get $2 off your first 10 rides. The rideshare drop-off and pickup location for the Las Vegas ballpark is at the Valley area at downtown Summerlin. Right now, following the secret money trail at NSPCA.
I just don't know how she's gotten away with it this long.
13 investigates breaking the news of a criminal investigation. What's next after the president steps down? And a hot new wedding trend. Non-traditional registries are all the buzz. All new tonight, unique ways couples are asking for gifts now. We'll be back in just 2 minutes. Now to a story you saw first on 13 Action News, a major shakeup at the Valley's best-known no-kill animal shelter. The president has stepped down, 5 board members have also quit, and they also filed a formal complaint with the Nevada Attorney General. It's all the result of our investigation revealing suspicious spending by the NSPCA. And tonight, Chief Investigator Darcy Spears is following the secret money trail.
Massive misuse of money meant for animals, but instead used for personal expenses by board president Kathy Jung. That's what the Nevada Attorney General is investigating, and what those still on the NSPCA board are now scrambling to address after failing to vote her out.
When you have the responsibility of $1 million rescue, integrity, your word, honesty, all that is very important.
Former donor April Chandler's words are echoed by former NSPCA board member Tina Walls, a local lawyer and donor herself who walked away from the NSPCA last week and filed this public integrity complaint against Kathy Jung and the Nevada Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. The complaint says the leadership at NSPCA lacks any ability to govern itself and discipline its members for breach of its own policies and public trust.
You need to let the community know that they can trust. They can be trusted with the funds that you're donated, with these animals' lives. I mean, they're so innocent. They're the most vulnerable.
Absolute lack of transparency by Jung and the remaining board members is at the crux of this complaint. Walls wrote that once she had the chance to review financial books and records, she and others became alarmed at the escalating non-animal related spending. Kathy Jung had an NSPCA debit card and used it to spend more than $148,000 in 2018 alone at places like the PGA Store, Pier 1, Cost Plus, Michael Kors, Ulta, and Skechers, just to name a few. The money came out of the NSPCA's operating account, which requires invoices and approval by 2 signatures, but that did not happen. The complaint says Jung also made ATM withdrawals and got cash back on a number of purchases. She wrote $14,300 in checks from the petty cash account in 2018, all payable to cash and all signed and endorsed by her with no receipts or backup documentation. More than $26,000 was spent in 2018 for meals, travel, and entertainment, an increase of over 3,000% from the previous year. Jung argued there were grants paid to the NSPCA to cover those travel costs and conferences, but there was no proof that grants were received for that. Shelter financial records also prove Jung wrote multiple checks to her boyfriend, Scott Reber, who works at a local car dealership, which the complaint says at a minimum violated internal financial control policies and the NSPCA's conflict of interest policies. In total, Jung's boyfriend received more than $52,000. Almost every check was signed only by Kathy Jung and had no backup invoices. Jung did not disclose those payments to the rest of the board, and it seems no one was paying attention to or controlling what she did.
I don't know. I just don't know how she's gotten away with it this long, but, you know, it's just the way it is. I'm hoping all your stories you'll delve into enough information where they can get rid of her, because they need somebody to run that place.
Former donor Darlene Lindes stopped giving the NSPCA money years ago when financial records she requested were not provided. Hundreds of pages of financial documents attached to the complaint detail the questionable spending and show how there was no structure in place to prevent fraud. Even when the entire board was presented with all this, 5 of them voted to allow Kathy Jung to remain on the board. Those 5 are Jason Egan, owner of Fright Dome, who serves as the NSPCA's treasurer, Michelle Wilmoth, who works at a local public relations firm, Melissa Schals, veterinary clinic manager at College of Southern Nevada, Darla Geary, and Kathy Jung herself. After we told the board they stand accused of breaching their fiduciary duties to the organization, they sent a statement which says they take the allegations very seriously. They also say Kathy Jung has voluntarily agreed to step down as president and relinquish any financial controls she had. The Nevada SPCA is conducting a full investigation with an independent auditor and conducting a full investigation of our accounting practices.
Kathy Jung's attorney also sent a statement calling the board members who filed the complaint with the Attorney General disgruntled. He says he believes the allegations are baseless and without merit, and he intends to vigorously defend Ms. Jung. Darcy Spears, 13 Investigates.
Now, 13 First Alert weather.
All right, good evening. Get ready for the first 90-degree temperature of the year. We think we're going to hit that on Monday. Now, the average first 90-degree temperature day usually happens around the 18th of April. So if we get it on Monday, that's going to be about a week and a half early. So we've got it in the forecast. Tomorrow we're going to be in the mid-80s, and then we're getting ready for a really big cool down once a cold front pushes through by the middle of the week. So kind of crazy, up and down. That's what spring-like weather does for us. Live look outside from our Strat Cam. Temperatures outside right now are all in the 60s. Some of you in the lower 60s, some of you in the mid 60s, some of you in the upper 60s. Las Vegas currently at 69, down towards Summer, New York at 60, all the way up towards Centennial Hills. Your current temperature is 62 degrees. So here are the weather headlines. A big warm up, but it will be brief. I think tomorrow will be in the mid 80s. I think we'll hit 90 on Monday, maybe lower 80s on Tuesday. And then here comes a cold front with a lot of wind on Tuesday and through Wednesday. That's going to cool us down to highs only in the lower 70s. And there's a forecast where on Friday where we think we're only going to be in the upper 60s. So we're going to go from 90 on Monday to upper 60s by the end of the week. Here's a look at the wind tracker. Winds are not going to be really a problem tomorrow. They won't be on Monday as well. It's really Monday evening that you'll start to notice some colors here as that cold front begins to approach the area, and it's really Tuesday and Wednesday that the winds are really going to be howling out there. High pressure in control for us. That's why tomorrow we get up to 85, the same on Monday for 90, and then we get ready for this nasty cold front that's going to cool us right back down below normal to highs in the lower 70s. And like I said on Friday, we're only going to be in the upper 60s. So tonight we'll drop down to 58. Quiet out there, mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, a lot of clouds, but still much warmer than today. Forecasting a high of 85 degrees. I think we hit 90 on Monday, and then here comes that cold front down to 81 on Tuesday. Windy, breezy on Wednesday with a high of 73. Lower 70s on Thursday. Look at Friday. Highs only in the upper 60s. And a little bit of recover on Saturday, forecasting a high of 73. So spring-like weather up and down all over the place. 90 on Monday, upper 60s on Friday. Get ready for that. Nina, back to you.
At least Monday is looking good. Thank you, Darren. A follow-up now to a story you first reported last week. A man who waited 8 months for a replacement Takata airbag is back behind the wheel of his own car. Jason Rees had to drive a series of loaner cars during that time, and now we are happy to report that Rees now has his new airbag and is satisfied with how Ford handled the situation. And tonight we are talking hot new wedding trends. Non-traditional registries are all the buzz. Stick around and see the unique ways couples are asking for gifts now. New tonight, if you're invited to a wedding this season, you might want to take note of the gift registry. Corrine Zell from our sister station found out a lot of couples are asking for gifts in a non-traditional way.
The wedding planning website, The Knot, says cash registries went up 50% between